Hello everybody and welcome to today's Sunday Q&A. We're going to jump straight into it with a comment from Silkworm62. And he says, I've been following your journey from market man to trucker, read the book, got the t-shirt, and now another great chapter on the road ahead, onwards and upwards. Great stuff, Peter. Going to be a lucky kid who has you as a granddad. Enjoy it all. From the man across the street, literally. The reason he says he's the man across the street is he is the man across the street. It's my neighbour Dick. He's a lovely fella. He's been watching the channel for ages. He's not a courier. I think he used to work something to do with the mail or something like that. You know, he's done a few jobs, like like I say, lovely fella. Yeah, they make stuff for they kind of little rubbery sword things for shows, and his wife Maggie does sort of weaving and stuff like that. And I says to him, I met him, I said, why haven't you commented before? He said, couldn't figure out how to do it. So, Silkworm, welcome to the comments, mate. He seems like he's going to be a member of the non-courier club. People who comment and watch the channel that have got nothing to do with courier driving. That also includes you, Jerry. There's a few of you out there. We're starting the members of the non-courier club. Probably come up with a more snazzier, snappier name for it than that, or probably it will just disappear by the wayside, as most things do, and disappear into into sort of redundancy. Which brings us neatly to fuel prices. I'm doing the twifts. Some views, it seems to have some traction. I don't know. I'll carry on doing it for as long as there's any interest. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. If no one wants to watch it, I'll stop doing it. It's no problem. But with that in mind, if any of you have got your fuel prices for this week, I've got a few of mine in. So I've got the Watson's card now, the Watson's Red, which is really good. Neptune Courier. It's sort of short and sweet. I love it. It literally, I want to keep these videos like the football scores. There's no interesting anecdotes, and so anybody who wants to know, okay, what's cheapest this week can get it with. I'd like to get it under a minute, but I probably won't because I have a tendency to ramble, as you may or may not have noticed. So I just literally want to be this week. Watson's is this, Key Fuels is this, UK Fuels is this, and this. Because let's face it, ratchet system all over the place. These people are what they are. This is what you need to be paying, and that way you can go, what? Hold on. My email says 117, and he's telling me people got 105. I'm going to be straight on the trombone. What are you doing to me? Put the price down. Yeah, so that's the idea. We'll keep it going as long as we keep it going for. Question of the week this week goes to Isa Soul. And they say, I've got to say, I'm not sure about, this is talking about a CX, this model of the courier service from a freight forwarder point of view. The rates are much higher compared to a courier company with a fleet of vans and drivers. Forwarders also want their freights booked immediately to plan ahead, rather than leaving the job details on a CX app to be filled by a driver. I think from a driver's point of view, sounds convenient, even though the commission needs to be paid out, and I am not sure how long it takes to get paid out. Too long. But more importantly, I think you have to look at this model from a customer point of view with regards to reliability rates and immediate confirmation of the job is safely booked. So, which kind of leads me to believe, the lady, I don't know, the question of the week tends to be question of the week because it tends to lead to another video. And the question I think I read from that is kind of, how does it work? Which, let's face it, how many times have I done how does it work? It's, another how does it work, Peter? How many times are you going to flog a dead horse? But I think what I need to do one is kind of like, how does it work? No, that's the same thing again, isn't it? No, how do jobs appear on the Courier Exchange? Because, I had to move a cabinet for my mate Corners, and you kind of go, right, so that's how it works. So we'll maybe do one on that. But anyway, thanks for your comment, Isa, which leads us on to this week's video, which was on the longest tip. Now, I don't know if it counts if it's the longest tip because it's in a prison, because it was the first time it was the longest tip, but it was a prison, so it's kind of parts to it, and the gate was busted. It did, however, take me 6.5 hours to get off what was, I think, 7 pallets. Having said that, the longest tip, and they're lovely people, is it Waitrose No. Is it JCB, Stoke-on-Trent? No. Is it Superdrug in Dunstable? Have anyone ever done Superdrug in Dunstable? I got in there on a Friday night at 4. I got out at 7:30. This week I got in there with a booking time of 4. They said come back at 5. I went, yeah, but no, I've got a booking time at 4. It says 4. He said, I know it says 4. It says 4 on your paperwork as well. Come back at 5. I went back at 5. I got out at 8:30. 4.5 hours. And bless her, the guy, I said, what's going on? She said, look, there's 3 of us. One of us was in an accident yesterday, so he hasn't come in. So I've got to do all the paperwork, and I'm not trained with the heavy machinery. What the heavy machinery is to unload the lot, I presume you mean a motorised pump truck. And the other guy, he said, who's a lovely fella, has been run ragged. I said, don't worry about it. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew I was getting paid waiting time. I got paid for watching. I watched a film. I'm getting paid for watching a film. I've had worse jobs. But the thing is, for me, it's kind of, I think, well, that's fine. Because I know the score, I know it happens, and I know that when I leave here in 15 minutes' time, I'm back at the yard. But the poor guys that are going, I'm going to go back to Stoke-on-Trent. I've been sitting here like since 3 o'clock this afternoon. In 2 hours' time, I'm out of hours. So if I don't tell them soon, I'm going to be sitting here all night. So here's what it is. But longest tip. Shane Hardy says, could be worse. You could be waiting 6 hours to load a 500-mile route. Did that happen to you, Shane? If it did, tell us all about it. And incidentally, good luck. I noticed some of the comments. I think we come to that later. Neil at Neptune Courier says, he says, Pete, it sounds arduous. He said, I had a collection once when I was asked to be there at 9 a.m. to collect a small pallet that had missed the delivery lorry. The goods were going from Glasgow up to the Scottish Highlands, about a 3-hour drive. It's similar to the distribution centre. Similar to you, the distribution centre had a power cut. Just wait, they said, and I called the shipper and they said, no problem. Let us know when you're loaded. 10 a.m. came, 11 a.m. Called the shipper again, no problem. Keep waiting. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, no response. And they said, so I run the shipper again, no problem. Let us know if you're loaded by 2:30. Now, bear in mind, his collection time was 9 o'clock. So he's now been there 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 2:30. He's getting on from my time, isn't he, really? And he's not been, and he's not even been, not been loaded yet. He said, I was getting bored. The waiting time was now double what the job was worth. And I called them and said, this is ridiculous. Even if I get loaded, I won't have time to get up there and tip it. They said, hang on a minute. They called me back. And they said, basically said, to their credit, they looked at the job, agreed the fee, and sent me home at 3 o'clock. so his job was get there at 9 o'clock in the morning and then wait for 6 hours not to be loaded and then drive home again. At least you didn't. At least you got to go home and at least you get the waiting time. But we don't like waiting time. No one likes waiting time. You want to get the job done. You get there, get it loaded, get it on, get it off. Everybody's happy. That's the way forward. David Winter on this one says, never mind, at least you could have a nice cup of lukewarm coffee while you're sitting there and you're all singing or dancing flasks. That's just a way of crowbarring flasks back in, Dave. We're not talking about flasks. We did flasks last week. This week is the longest tip. And Godzilla says, free the Dunstable one. Well, they let me out. So there we go. So that's the longest tip. It was took a while, but one phrase that always stands with me when these things happen is I sit there and I go, this too will pass. Like when I backed my lorry off the edge of a cliff. There would be a video on that one. It probably would have been one of my highest viewing videos ever if it wasn't so traumatic. I taped it a bit and I went, I just can't do this. I've just got to get out of here. It was awful. But you just go, this too will pass. And it does. Which leads us to this week's Wise Guys. Right, the question this week on the Wise Guide from Cowboy Dan. He says, Pete, what you've been watching? Hello, Cowboy Dan. Yeah, I know, I'm aware of you, mate. Yeah. Thanks for sort of commenting again, like, you know. He says, I've been watching the videos about 3 years now. He said, on how to replace the straps. My question is, to replace the buckle, is it as simple as unscrewing it and then pulling the whole unit off and then screwing the new unit on? He said, before I started the CX, I came across the videos. He's working on a small van. He said, but it's getting tough now. I think he's in a 3.5 ton loot and so far enjoying it. Maybe one day a 7.5 ton or an 18 ton. Of the two, recommend the 18 tonne, but 7.5 tonne maybe to start with, just while you're getting used to trucks. If you're not used to trucks, you might be used to trucks. As for the buckle thing, yeah, I think this is the case. I think what you will find a lot of the time, however, is that the bolts have been on so long they've rusted, so you kind of need to get an angle. You need to get to the inside of the curtain, get an angle grinder to the inside, and then that one just ping off, and then you should end up with the little holes. You put the new one on. If the holes don't line up, you make some new holes, a bit of sort of mastic, bosh, in, ready to go. But that's probably wrong. And bearing in mind that everything on this channel is either wrong or at least largely erroneous. So if anyone has got a better idea on how to put the buckles on the side curtains, let us know and we'll get on it then. And he also says, congratulations on being a granddad. I think it's 36 days today. Got the countdown up on my phone. And this is the miscellaneous this week. Come from David 45HGV. He said I was flicking through the TV and who pops on my telly? Didn't know you'd done Channel 5. Yep, we did. I did that motorway Hell on the Highway. It was an incredibly popular program. Then I did it, and I think they've stopped making it now. I don't know what's going on there. It's just one of those accident programs. They wanted me in as part of he said, we want you in as part of our team of resident experts. I said, you're kind of playing it fast and loose with the term expert there, aren't you? But yeah, it was fun. It was fun when it lasted, so it was fun. And also going back to Shane Hardy, he said, hopefully starting on the 6th, the beginning of 2026. I've got the van, just building up the funds and keep the boat afloat. People have said 3 months. Shane, I'll be honest with you, I reckon if you've got 2 months and you can get a lot of CX jobs now, a lot of the new mob, I pay 14 days from invoice. Not necessarily because I want to pay 14 days from invoice, but somewhere in my settings it says I pay 14 days from invoice. And I post so few jobs, I kind of go, okay, well, if it says 14 days. The last job I paid that day. He was a really nice guy. Move a cabinet for my mate corners. Yeah, if I ever start posting more and more jobs, I might have to change it. In the meantime, just happy, me and the truck. Keep it simple. It's me, BJ McKay and the Bear, just me and the lorry. I do everything myself. I know where I stand. I'm starting to build up a bit of dough. We're coming up to the 1 year marker, and it's just a matter of getting my head down, keeping it straight, taking care and taking money.